This is episode 13 of, or 14 of You Watch I Listen. Dan used to keep track of that, and unfortunately, as you all know, Dan's no longer going to be with the show. He fell into a geyser in Montana. I'm like sitting right here.
I feel like you can almost hear him from the beyond.
I'm feeling I'm getting ignored in real life, like I do.
It's really the mind. Grief is a powerful thing. It makes you think that people are here.
I'm
really
grieving
not.
that my vacation's over, so I have to be back here and looking at you across the way.
What episode are we on? I legitimately forgot. I'm not even doing.
We are actually on episode 13 of You Watch I Listen. After a 2-week hiatus, I guess we could say. I mean, we had our little shoot the shit, which people were very responsive to. I listened back to it. I was actually listening on my flight, and I was laughing like hard at some of the dumb shit said.
We recorded so long ago, I forgot what the jokes were.
Yeah, I forgot Josh was a guest entirely, and then he's the first voice on there. So again, welcome to episode 13 of You Watch I Listen. Dan is back from his vacation. It's nice to be back. It sucks that my vacation's over, and I come home from my vacation instantly into a shitstorm. Come home. Air conditioning's broken. My cat has an infection. Just fantastic. I have a wedding. I have a wedding Friday. In the case of the landlord, she's got to be up at the fiance's bachelorette party. So it's like we got home and it's just one thing after the other. But that's life. You can't have those highs without just getting right to the dog shit of life, which is normally what I'm used to.
Just shoot for mediocrity.
It's literally my vacation couldn't have gone any better. And then just the fact that I come home and instantly there's just shit going on. And the truth of the matter is, I got picked up at the airport, and the person that picked me up brought me an edible so I could get tired because I had to go to work the next day. And
that's usually how those work.
Yeah.
You just do it to fall asleep.
Well,
there's no psychological.
It makes me tired, but I was feeling really good. And then I come home expecting to lay down, and I was way too out of it to truly process how much my life can be shit sometimes. But
it makes me so happy when things go bad for you.
Honestly, it makes me happy too, because I wouldn't know a normal life without things just going terribly wrong. But in this case, it only was bad for a day or so. But yeah, man, vacation was really cool. Montana was spectacular.
The one where you had to get your passport to go to, right?
Yeah,
Montana's part of a different country.
And then, there were parts you were driving pretty much into Canada, but no one ever asked us for our passport, so I guess we didn't really need it. But I'd prefer, just in the off chance that a Mountie is being a dickhead, not to get detained and deported.
You know what? I'm going to press my luck. I don't think I need it to go to Thailand.
I think you might need it just to get on the plane to go to Thailand.
I'm taking Qatar Airlines.
How long of a flight is that?
21 hours.
Is it no connecting, or I guess you're landing in Europe?
It connects in the illustrious country of Qatar.
Oh,
and the travel agent said,
"Are you high,
dude?" The travel agent goes, "It's like Dubai." I haven't been to Qatar. I'm telling you right now, it's not like Dubai.
Have you ever been to Dubai?
No, I've never been to Dubai.
So they're comparing it to you. It's literally someone comparing something to you that you've never done.
Whenever you see architecture and you see wealth and just stereotypical excess, you think of Qatar, right? You think.
I mean, Qatar has money, not like Dubai money, but
they have money, but 5 people have it.
Yeah, exactly. That's very true. 21 hours. I don't know how long if I could survive. Have you ever traveled internationally, or is that the?
No, this is the thing. I've never even been off the East Coast. So where do I start? I go to Thailand.
So what's the furthest you've flown?
Ohio.
That's you could drive that. You'd be better off.
I've also driven it.
So then why'd you fly?
It was for work.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Was that when you were? No, I guess you were driving when you were working lines.
No, that was a different time.
That was a good time in your life.
That was a fun time. but Thailand is interesting because I know nothing about it. And people are going what cities are you going to? And I'm I don't know.
Thailand. I mean, don't go to Bangkok.
I have to go to Bangkok. You fly into Bangkok.
Oh, that sucks.
It's not like the United States where there's an airport every 5 minutes.
Yeah, dude, the airport out in Montana, it looked like it was just a quick check. It was so small. I'm not even kidding you. I walked in and they instantly were oh, let's check your bag.
They scan your ticket and build you a sub.
Yeah, build your own sub and get on your plane.
But quick checks, are they nationwide, or are they just a New Jersey thing?
I think they're a northeast tri-state kind of thing.
They're only in this area.
They had something out there that was the equivalent of a quick check called Town Pump. is what it's called. Dude, I'm not kidding you. Montana is the single like whitest place I've ever been to. I was doing my counting to see if there was diversity in Montana. There is between white people and Asian people. There was probably more Asian people than white people.
That's interesting.
But everything else, it was very
So wait. They like when they dress up, they go out to dinner at Town Pump. Like that's the big eating establishment?
No, honestly, as far as big eating establishments, there's not a lot of fast food places. I told you that there was a Burger King that sold tacos.
I'm surprised about that.
Yeah, they had the rodeo chicken sandwich rather than the rodeo burger.
What's the rodeo chicken sandwich?
It's just the equivalent of the rodeo burger, but with the chicken patty instead of a beef patty.
Wow, progressive.
But everything else, it's like I got to eat bison while I never had bison before.
Bison's good.
I had bison meatloaf, a bison burger, and bison nachos, and I was.
Didn't they just get the bison population back up, and now we're bringing it down again?
Was the population down? Because out there, I would think otherwise.
No, when they would go, like when they had Manifest Destiny, they used to like ride trains and just shoot their guns outside and like randomly just.
You know how grateful I was that one of the first bison I saw, I got to get a picture of taking a shit.
I saw that.
That would only happen to me. And if you ever do go to Yellowstone, Old Faithful sucks. Old Faithful's not worth it. That's the one that everyone talks about. It was a fucking bore.
And unfortunately, Dan fell into it. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Dan. You piece of shit.
Dan. It's now just called I Watch. I recommend my movies to myself.
I know it's I guess it's iWatch and no, you'd have users send you the
this week Gremlins 2 for the 6th time.
The new batch. That's the tagline. Gremlins 2, the new batch.
They didn't really see the forest through the trees with that one.
They've still been talking about Gremlins 3 for a while. Which,
here's the thing. If they do Gremlins 3, it's Gremlins. Like, you're not going to ruin the illustrious Gremlins legacy. Like, do it. I don't care.
To be fair, I do love the first 2 Gremlin movies.
Gremlins 2 better than Gremlins 1.
I do too.
They're both great,
Gremlins 2 is more fun.
Yeah, they were just like, look, we have all this budget. How are we? Let's let's put a cartoon in the middle of it.
Let's just blow it up. No, but taking that vacation like where there's like limited cell phone service is kind of nice too. Like I didn't have to worry about like my phone blowing up because even if it wanted to, it couldn't.
Oh, it was great because whenever I get a Dan text, I was about to say every time I get a Dan from you,
a
text from Dan, it's just what is this? Like I don't want to deal with this. Whatever. It's never just hey dude, how's it going?
No,
it's either him complaining about a sports team, him complaining about a movie that I never even heard of.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's your own fault that you haven't heard of like movies that were popular at one point. I don't think I've recommended anything that obscure. Frailty was probably the most obscure, or Windy City Heat was the most obscure.
Windy City Heat was tough to find, but I think I found it on YouTube.
Yeah,
I found it like on Vimeo, one of those.
Yeah, the full version was on YouTube, but now, man, vacation, the wildlife at grizzly bears like a couple 100 yards from me. Apparently, the moose is the most dangerous animal. Like everyone out there that lives out there says, if a moose, you should be more terrified.
It's pronounced meese.
Meese.
When there's more than
I think that's what it is. Well, apparently they're very dangerous, but they're very dumb. Like if you were getting chased by a meese,
it's like Micah.
Yeah. You could smell one a lot closer. You could guess which one. But apparently, if you're getting chased by one,
just feed him peanuts.
He'll have an allergic reaction. Give him a Snickers ice cream bar.
Do animals have allergies?
I'm sure they do.
Like, is there like a monkey, like an orangutan, like
can't handle dust mites?
He has to take monkey Claritin.
He gets poison ivy very easily.
I want to see a monkey with a rash.
Oh my! I met this guy out there. We were in Lake McDonald. Lake McDonald, dude. The lakes out there, you can literally see right to the bottom.
Like you can buy one get two free. No, what's that? What's a McDonald's? Oh, car crash noise.
Yeah, you need to put your own car crash noise in. But we met this guy who was like an astrologer, and he was like a brilliant guy. And astrologist.
Do you mean astronomer?
Tomato.
Okay, wait. Is it real things happening in the sky or fake things happening in the sky?
Potentially both. Dude, this guy was like he was interesting. He was talking conspiracy theories. He was talking what he thinks of flat earthers. He's like a published author. He was a very, very interesting guy, but he was definitely like a big burnout. But he was telling us all about what Easter Island actually is, which I was never aware of it before then. Which is a very interesting story. I think we're gonna have him on at some point.
Oh,
this guy, he made this. There's a YouTube video where he was connecting the theories of life to all different sci-fi movies, and it's like it's very interesting. But he actually knew James Randi. He knows him. Yeah, like he knew all about it. He knew. He talked about Uri Geller, so that's a follow up from a previous episode. Which I actually had something to follow up before we go into our reviews from last week. a couple weeks ago we talked about if they did a reimagining of Home Alone, and we said like Macaulay Culkin as an adult. Did you hear what Ryan Reynolds is doing?
What's Ryan Reynolds
So he
doing?
bought the rights to Home Alone.
You can just buy the rights to Home Alone?
Once it goes past a certain amount of years that it's been distributed, it technically becomes public domain unless they make some kind of sequel in a lot of the old movie contracts.
Oh, so that's like why they made the...
Why do you think Fox keeps making new X-Men movies so Disney can't take the property?
And that's what happened. Didn't the original Fantastic Four from like the 90s,
Correct.
they made it just for that reason?
Yeah, like the same thing happened with Spider-Man. That's why they made the Amazing Spider-Man, so Marvel couldn't get the rights for the Avengers movies.
Can't lose that Home Alone
Yeah.
fortune.
Well,
Just release a book or
what
something.
Ryan Reynolds is going to do, he's going to make, I guess it's going to be like an adult version because it's going to be called Stoned Alone, and it's going to be about a guy, there's rumors that Macaulay Culkin might be in it, but a guy...
Macaulay Culkin might be in it and not even aware that he's in a movie.
He's a strange dude. Now he's showing up to pro wrestling things all the time.
I like Macaulay Culkin.
He's a character.
I like any of those guys who just completely fall off the grid, come back, but you know that something
like
has
Haley
changed.
Joel Osment.
Yeah, like I like that.
Jake Lloyd.
Jake Lloyd is bad.
Yeah, well, he's apparently like a schizophrenic now, and he solely blames Star Wars fans for their backlash towards
I'm
him.
going to be honest. I'm sure about 50% of it is them.
The guy that played Jar Jar Binks said that he almost committed suicide because of the fan backlash.
You're aware that doesn't make the character go away.
Yeah, at least his face isn't seen in Star Wars. Like Jake Lloyd will always be known as that, and the kid from Jingle All the Way.
Jake Lloyd was Jingle All the Way?
Yeah, that was his son. He played Arnold's son in Jingle All the Way.
Well, the more you know.
Yeah, the more
that
you
was
know.
That was a prequel to The Road.
Yes, so why don't we get into our picks from last
Yeah.
week? So now as far as I will jump into them. I'll go to the movies first. I recommended the first one to you was Annihilation,
Yeah.
and you actually watched that with the fiance.
Yeah,
and you did record something.
We did record it. I was going to upload it last week, but I was sick and just forgot. Dan does all the uploading. I just don't know how to do it, and I'm just...
So later
burn it.
this week, they have about a 40-minute bit they recorded where they talked about Annihilation, and we'll go into it a little
Do you
bit
want me to
here.
give
but
a quick... Did you listen to it yet or no?
No, I did not
Okay, I'll
listen
give
to
you
it
a
yet.
quick recap.
So what did you think about Annihilation?
I liked Annihilation. I liked it actually more than I thought I did. It actually built on itself. So the first like half hour, I really didn't like it at all. Second half, when like they're getting the crew together, I'm starting to like, okay, we're going through the motions. Is one of those, the women could do it better than guy movies, but it really wasn't that.
Well, they never pushed that, which is one of the
didn't
things. They
push it
never
at
like
all.
said anything like if they gave that line, a woman can do any job that a man. Like when you force feed it, it's just a movie that happened and it made sense as it happened.
So I thought, and it also had a reason. Like we sent male teams in, they didn't come back, or they came back.
That's the one X factor.
So let's try something different. So I thought it was interesting. The last third of the movie, when it just goes off the rails, I love that part. It was a real...
It gets out of control at
It was
the
a
end.
real sci-fi movie. I thought the scene with the bear moose...
Oh, that was crazy,
That was a
man.
great
That bugged
scene.
me out. The bear it took on the genetic DNA of the person they last killed. So when it screamed, when the bear was growling, it made the scream of the woman it just killed, which was a very like haunting.
And me and the fiance, we couldn't remember the names of them, so we just referred to him as Jane the Virgin loses her shit. Westworld just walked in the woods. We don't know where Westworld went.
Yeah, I forgot all their names already too.
But I liked it. I thought my favorite thing is when she hung him at the end, and I yelled out episode 1 meets episode 7.
Shut up.
But I liked it a lot. I thought it was a good movie. I recommend it.
Visually, it was amazing. It was some great visuals. That last like scene when the humanoid thing is created and I sound like I'm taking edibles all the time, but I took an edible before I watched that, and the visuals were just like, whoa.
He took it before he goes to the DMV. He takes when he pumps his gas.
The dentist.
What's the place he went to?
Town Pump.
Town Pump.
Yeah, that became the nickname for someone on our trip. I won't say who, but it wasn't me. No. So Annihilation. Natalie Portman
Didn't really know what was going on, but I kind of knew what was going on. But I like that. I think a sci-fi movie, if you go, okay, I got it all, the sci-fi movie didn't work. If you feel like, okay, I have a theory about this,
and then you watch it unfold slowly. And the other thing I thought it did very well, and a lot of sci-fi movies make this mistake where they wait too long to put you into the exciting stuff. Mm-hmm. The build-up to them getting into the shimmer wasn't that long in theory. It was probably about...
But the shimmer, not a lot happened in the shimmer, so the value of when it does happen is...
But I could have easily seen another sci-fi movie like waiting, and then in the last half hour you go to the shimmer, and then at that point it's too little too late.
Yeah, then when is the shimmer? They're just throwing shit at you.
Yeah, Jennifer Jason Leigh was really good in it.
It was a good movie. I liked it a lot. They did a reverse Prestige. They didn't feed you anything at the end,
not
which
at
I
all.
liked a lot.
Not at all.
I like how you don't know if it's a happy ending, a sad ending. Like I liked it.
It's a little ambiguous. No, that I love the ending actually. Oscar Isaac was good in his small part in it.
The fiance didn't like it nearly as much as I did.
Really?
Yeah, she you have to listen to it. I don't want to take the. I don't want to spoil it, but she literally said some like I was like, I really like Natalie Portman. She's like, you just like her. She's not even that pretty. You just like her because she's talented. I'm like, which one is it? Okay,
well, which one is it, Ralph?
Am I supposed to like them?
Do you like her because she's a good actress or because you think she's beautiful?
I said, what is it? Like, yeah.
So you're not allowed to like Natalie Portman anymore.
No, I think she's a great actress.
You can't say
that. I
was
like, how dare I like a woman for her accomplishments and not her looks?
Social justice warrior Ralph.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you liked Annihilation. So like I said, we'll be having on Thursday. I think we're gonna upload the bit with Ralph and the fiance talking about Annihilation.
It's pretty funny. But we rip into each other.
I've been recommending to anyone I know that if you like sci-fi movies, Annihilation is definitely one of the more original concepts.
If you don't like sci-fi movies, I don't think you'll get anything
I agree with that. But if sci-fi is like one of your favorite genres, you should absolutely see Annihilation.
It's closer to hard sci-fi than
I would agree
sci-fi.
with that. And the director did another great sci-fi movie recently, was Ex Machina, which not a ton of people saw either, and you would probably like Ex Machina a lot. That's a really trippy fucking movie,
I feel like
too.
I've seen Ex Machina.
It's only like 4 years old.
Oh, no, I played the game.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking of.
All right, so why don't we go into the other movie I gave
The Road.
you, which was The Road, starring Viggo Mortensen. And it's based on the famous Colin McCormick book.
Cormac McCarthy.
Cormac McCarthy, yeah, whichever it was. And
that's what it was.
That's your opinion. And it came out when it came out. It got very good reviews, but it was a small like indie kind of film. Very tough book to adapt. And personally, I felt they did a great job adapting, having read and seen the movie. So why don't you go with what you thought?
Okay, so it's a tough movie to watch. Obviously, there's a lot of intense scenes. The plot's very simple.
Yeah, it's a very basic movie.
It's just him and his son, they're trying to survive, and when things get bad, they consider suicidal.
Yes.
That's basically the thing. And I'm not really spoiling
It's all about
anything.
the relationship with they don't even say the name of the characters.
No one
it's
has
man
names,
and boy.
No one has a name in the
The
movie.
only one that has the name is when, was it Robert Duvall?
By the way, I didn't even know that was Robert Duvall until afterwards.
And his name was
Eli.
Eli.
Book of Eli.
Yeah, it looked like Book of Eli the way it was filmed. But
so the movie's very intense. I actually was watching this on my laptop while watching the Yankee game last night, and it was very weird. When things were going south in the movie, things were going south for the Yankees, and then when they had a minor victory, like they would get a base hit. It was very strange how like it was like lining up.
When they got a base hit or scored a run, it was the scene when they were in that like storm cellar with all the food and he was cooking.
That's when I'm pretty sure that's when Bird hit the home run. So I enjoy the movie more today than I did last night.
Okay, that's a lot of people. It's very heavy the first time you see it.
It's heavy. And you go a lot of, okay, what's the point? Like, I understand this is a real scenario. It's a very realistic movie. And, not that, you're going to wake up one day and the world's...
Yeah, of course.
But I do think that's how society would probably
And they never explain exactly how the world ended, even in the book. It's just...
they allude to a little here or there, but nothing...
They allude to, like, mass wildfire kind of thing, and everything's burnt and looks desolate.
There's no animals.
It looks almost like there was a nuclear winter type thing, but they never explain, which is not the point. Again,
and there's no
like
point.
you said, it's a very simplistic plot. They're not trying to figure out how can we fix
Father,
this,
son,
how can we
survive.
change... Yeah, father, son, survive, and the things you'd encounter in a broken down society.
Yeah. So... When I was watching, I didn't hate the movie, and in fact, I realized it was a really well-filmed movie. I just did enjoy watching because it's so intense.
A very tough watch.
But then, after I was done with it, and I slept on it, and then I went thinking about it, a little bit later today, I actually did enjoy it a lot. I just don't think it's a movie I'd watch for another 5 years.
Honestly, this was the first time I probably watched it in 3-4 years. I went back and watched it, and the last, 20 minutes are, truly gut-wrenching.
I'll tell you what I really liked about it. And I guess they must have intended for it, because I feel like this movie, everything was intended for.
Yeah.
Nothing's
out of place.
Yeah. Anytime they have a victory, and the victories are really
short-lived.
Like they found a Coca-Cola. By the way, Coca-Cola even does product placement in the post-apocalyptic world. Every time they have a drink, it's either a vitamin water or a Coke, a Dasani.
And there was actually a reviewer that complained about the product placement, but that's actually lifted directly from the book when he got to give his son his first soda.
Oh, I didn't care.
Yeah, no, but there were people that complained about the obvious product placement, like, oh, he was just following the book accurately.
But it was like the kid takes a sip of it and goes, "Oh, it's good." I'm like, if you've never had soda before, your first reaction would be, "It's good."
Yeah, shit must suck if like the first thing you have is a warm, dusty
thing,
cola that's probably 15 years past its expiration date, and now it tastes like Diet Mr. Pibb.
I don't think anyone, no matter what part of the world that they're from, get excited over finding 3 years worth of vitamin water.
If I found a 3-year supply of like Stewart's root beer, I might be excited.
Honestly, I don't think I'd really be happy to find 3 years of anything. I get sick.
Anything?
There's very few things that, like, if I eat the same
pretzels?
meal. Oh, great.
So keep going about
the little victories. They are really important because they're so rare, and you understand the value of a bag of peanuts.
Yeah.
Or you have a new pair of shoes.
Your cardboard for your shoes, like shit like that.
So that I really liked about it. Everything in the movie.
Vigo's amazing.
Vigo's great in it. I could do without the Charlize Theron
backstory.
I understand that's a little part of the book, but from what I read, it sounds like they kind of expanded a bit. It just seemed out of place. I understand they have to build what was lost.
Well, they're trying to. I think what they were trying to do there is show that his father, or Viggo Mortensen, no matter what was going on, he was trying to keep the fire.
Yeah, he was
trying to keep, and every time they showed those scenes,
hope.
There was a little flicker of flame, which goes back to the thing: we carry the fire. There were some other really cool cameos in it. Michael K. Williams right after the beach scene.
Guy Pearce was.
Right at the end. Now I remember when I saw it, a scene that made me I was at the edge of my seat, like biting my nails in the theater. Was when they go into that cellar with all the people.
Out of nowhere.
They go into this house and they're trying to get supplies, and they find this cellar that this group of cannibals, they're keeping people in the basement, and they're completely
their limbs are chopped off and they're bloody
and they're just there to be eaten. So
that was creepy.
That whole scene was extremely intense, and there were little things like when they were in that cellar and they heard the dog outside, and it turns out it ended up being Guy Pearce when you find out at the end that was outside there.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, because they said they heard a dog, and that's the connection there. It's a very somber but beautiful movie.
It's filmed. I'll put it this:
it's filmed brilliantly.
It's filmed better than the story.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a bad thing. The story's not bad. It's just
I know people that thought it was boring because like they're just walking. I'm like, yeah, but it's really like just about the relationship between a father and son and anything a father will do to protect his son. Oh God, The Postman! I'm so fucking Kevin Costner. I'd rather watch Face Off than The Postman. Which would you rather watch?
Probably Face Off.
Yeah, and Face Off's terrible.
Face Off kind of is bad in a good way, though.
All right, so what would you rank both Annihilation? What were your ratings for both Annihilation and The Road?
So I feel like The Road. They have a lot in common, and there's a lot different at the same time. The world's coming to an end. You don't really know why. You have the savior who's trying to kind of keep the. There's running themes. I think it's obvious to bring them. I think The Road a little less than Annihilation, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
They're very hard to like. They're technically, like you said, there's things that are same. There's very dark with an ending that you can determine if it's happy or not. But the road is much more like they're
realistic. I think Annihilation is a little.
There feels like there's no hope in a movie like The Road. It's a very hopeless feeling movie.
Actually, until the end, when they see a little thing like they see the beetle. When they see the beetle, the first sign of life, the entire movie, all of a sudden you go, maybe things are getting better. That's those little scenes when they came up were really powerful. So
and for such a simple movie, again with this like almost no cast, it's a very powerful movie. The Road.
The movie doesn't feel like its cast is nearly as small as it is.
Correct. Yeah, because you're being expanded into this big world, and that's kind of honestly, as much as the Charlize Theron stuff isn't as good, it expands the world and where things were to where they became.
I understand. I understand he's having nightmares. It would take the momentum out of the movie a little bit. That's a minor.
I'm such a Vigo fan, man. Like I'll watch almost anything that guy's in. By
the way, can we talk about when there's a post-apocalyptic world? Why does everyone dress the same in every movie? Every gang in a post-apocalyptic world looks like Mad Max, even if you're not trying to be Mad Max.
That's because he kind of not Frank Miller, whatever his name is, the guy that created Mad Max. He created that whole.
Frank Miller?
I don't think it's Frank.
No, Frank Miller was Sin
City. He created the first real post-apocalyptic world, like what things would be like then. It was him before anyone else. So give me a number on Annihilation.
Annihilation, I'll give 3.25.
Okay.
And The Road 3.
Okay, that's fair.
Both pretty good. I liked them. I liked them a lot.
Slightly above average.
Both they're definitely work to watch the movies. They're not just throw it on and watch it. I don't think they're movies you could just start in the middle. Maybe The Road a little bit more only because the plot.
Yeah.
There's no real
Annihilation, you kind of have to be there to see certain things unfold.
The Road isn't really one plot. It's a bunch of little stories.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a slice of life in a post-apocalyptic
it's just
world.
like it's actually, you make a good point. It's a movie that feels like it has chapters. Like you finish one part and then it opens up another part of the story.
You definitely feel
but
like
you
it's
know
based
where
off
you
of
know
books.
where it's headed.
Neither of them I really could predict, which is surprising. My one prediction was Jane the Virgin's going to lose her shit, but I thought she was going to...
I didn't know who that was forever. And the landlord kept saying Jane the Virgin. And I was like, who the fuck is Jane the... I forgot about that show entirely.
Neither of them I really... I was surprised kind of what happened in all of them. So, I recommend them. I like them.
All right, cool. I'm glad you like them. So I'll jump right into the albums you gave me last week.
Honestly, I'm not even doing a bit. I don't remember what I gave you.
So the first one you gave me was Half About Being a Woman by Carolyn Smith. So I knew nothing real. I've heard the name before. I didn't know.
I'm
going to
just plug my laptop in,
Go ahead.
so I'm just walking away.
So as far as this album goes, Half About Being a Woman, it was a very easy listen in the sense that I didn't feel like it was a chore to listen to, but it didn't necessarily hook me in either. I left it on, and I didn't necessarily get into it too much. There was a couple songs I really liked, but wasn't sitting there like I can't listen to this like I was with Copy, Bobby Womack to a lesser extent. It was weird. Her voice is great. First of all, she's a great singer. The music's good, but the lyrics not my thing necessarily. Some of the songs I know specifically was "Buy Me Something" might have some of the single worst lyrics I've ever heard in my life.
I like "Buy Me Something."
But it sounds like she's having fun making it, which I look for. To me, it sounds like this is very Amy Winehouse inspired. In some ways, she can't sing like Amy Winehouse could.
Well, very few people can.
Very few people can. But just like the tone, the feel, the way they mix the music with it, it is very much an Amy Winehouse feel to it.
You know what I feel like? That's a good point. I feel like she just one day said, "Hey, I'm going to record an album. Let's go do this."
Yeah, I want some jazz influence. She has a good crooner voice. Very, like I said, great singer.
She's also really close to, like, she works with the same musician. She treats them well, even though she's the front, woman of the band. Like,
I didn't even know it's I just thought it was her, but I guess she has a touring band.
Solo album, but I'm pretty sure she used the same people in her regular band for.
Yeah, the only way I could describe it. It was a generic album for me. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I felt just there was only one song I really hated. The song I liked the most, the first song, Blood Style, was good. It kind of set the tone for the album, and I liked Kind of a Man, and the last song was Child of Moving On. I really like Child of Moving On.
Moving On's great.
But I can't say anything on this album necessarily stuck with me. It's not something, if someone said, I'm looking for a good new album, this would never come to my head because it left almost like no impact, but it wasn't bad. It's not one of those...
She doesn't break any new ground.
No, it was, like I said, it was a very easy listen that I could just have it on, and I'm not thinking twice about it, but at the same time, that could be looked at as a negative because it did not invest me.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily my style of music. There's a lot of the songs had similar tones and feel to them. They used the same kind of beat structure, so it almost kind of blended into one. But I went in with lower expectations than I thought. I listened to it probably 10, 15 times between on the trip and back home.
It's really short, right? Isn't it only like a half hour?
Yeah, it's like a half hour.
Yeah.
It's an easy listen. I mean, but it's nothing groundbreaking. I don't think you're missing anything by not listening to this album. But if you like that Amy Winehouse kind of style, when Lady Gaga plays the piano kind of style, like that whole feel to it, that's exactly what this is. Probably not as talented as those two, Winehouse and Gaga, but still, it's a solid album for what it is.
Yeah.
How did you discover this? Because I
liked Carolyn Smith and the Goodnight Sleeps. Which,
okay.
Very different style. They're more like kind of folky, kind of that like freaky kind of living off the land. You probably think they're from like
it's there's definitely some lyrics that are very.
They sound like they're from Upper New York State. That's how I could describe them.
Oh, like yeah, exactly.
One of those. But she's good. She's very talented. She has a few pop songs that sound like they could be like Kesha or something, and literally every single one of them gets stuck in my head.
Do you pronounce it Kesha even though her S is spelled with a dollar sign?
Yeah,
like how do you $?
I'll tell you this. So me and the fiance did this last summer where we gave our favorite albums. And one of the best ones she gave me was a Kesha album. I was surprised how much I enjoyed the Kesha one.
Were you just rocking out to TikTok the whole time?
It wasn't that one. It was the one that had about the dead kids in it.
There's a song about dead kids?
No, shit. Die Young. It was released the same week that the
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fuck.
I honestly
remember the shooting that happened at like the elementary school with
Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook. I was gonna say Red Hook. Sandy Hook.
Crisis actors.
Crisis
actors.
Yeah, dude.
Fluoride's making the frogs gay.
That album was released the same week that happened, so the number one song when that shooting happened was Die Young, and they were like, nope, cut it, nope.
That's fantastic. There's, so are you saying Kesha was a false flag, running a false flag operation?
Kesha was behind it.
Tell Alex Jones he's running it at InfoWars.
Like, you prep this album for months, and you're like, okay, this is going to be your first one. Everything's completely mapped out.
21 kids
and then
are
all
dead.
of a sudden, 21 kids are dead, and you walk into the office, like, whistling, like
Die
how's
Young,
everyone doing?
guys,
Everyone's like,
Die
no.
Young. And then we just found out a bunch of people
You're just
died
yelling,
young.
Die Young, completely unaware that it happened.
All right, so the next album you gave me was from one of your favorite bands,
Blue.
Baroness Blue, or Blue Record.
Blue Record.
So I really, really like this album, just like I did with the Red album. I think I like the Red album a little bit more, but this one, again, was very, very good. There was only one song on it I didn't care for, but I don't know if I can count it because it interludes into another one. I didn't love Steel That Sleeps the Eye, but it interludes.
Oh, really? That's my favorite song on the album.
It doesn't even come off like a song. It comes off like a bridge to another song because they use that lyric set of that title in the next song, Swollen Halo, which I think is great. That was my favorite song on the album. I loved a horse called Golgotha. That was a great song. The song I really didn't care for was Or Hell and Hyde. That was the music was great. I didn't love the lyrics or anything else.
That's the one I'm thinking. I confused that one and what's the instrumental before that?
Oh, that was what was it? Okachi or something? No, it's an interlude.
No, there's another. I'm missing.
And so again, there was overall, I would say I give this album probably like a 3.5. I think I gave the Red album like a 3.9 or a 4. Again, musically, Baroness is as good as you're gonna get in this genre. Like I guess what kind of metal would they be listed as?
It's usually called either I've seen it called swamp metal or stoner metal.
It's very progressive, but not in a way like Tool, where it's like 5 different songs.
It's very
in one.
murky. You can't really tell individual instruments.
Yeah,
and they do that on purpose. They mix it so it's kind of like a grimy sound. I think it's swamp metal because stoner metal. Usually, stoner metal bands thing about getting stoned. Like,
like
exactly. The band Sleep have an album called Dope Smoker, which is 63 minutes about how much they love weed.
Yeah, I never thought about getting stoned while I was listening to it, but. Overall, I keep yawning, man. I'm still catching up from my trip. But overall, again, Baroness, as far as everything you've recommended me, this is the first time you gave me a artist repeat album. And I'm really happy you did because every time I listen to them, I keep saying I got to go back and listen to more and more. And I have played the Red album since you gave it to me because I really enjoy it. Another song I really liked was War, Wisdom, and Rhyme. The breakdowns on that song were fantastic. It was extremely progressive. Musically, again, these guys are as talented as you're going to get. They're very, very tight. Some of their time signatures are out of control. And again, the singing may not be for anyone, but as far as a screaming type band, this is as good as you're going to get.
This has less screaming than the Red.
For
Each
sure.
album, it gets more and more mellow. Like the one after this, which is my least favorite album, is double album, Yellow and Green.
Okay.
I actually treat them as literally 2 different albums that they just released in the same package. So, like, I rank Green and Yellow separate.
Okay.
That's a little too commercial for me, but that's also the more popular one. And that's more... It's more of just a hard rock sound. You kind of take some of those, like, swamp metal elements out. Very little growling. Much cleaner instrument. More progressive, probably, ironically. But least favorite album. And then Purple's just... They have synthesizers on Purple. They just complete. But no, it's not.
They were being experimental, more or less.
I think they're trying to make a hit record. Let's be honest.
I mean,
they got nominated for a Grammy on Purple though, so it was successful.
Okay, so I guess it worked then.
But that's common. Like Mastodon does that too. Mastodon will do heavy album, then all of a sudden it'll be like a real kind of poppy album. Then all of a sudden they'll have heavier than you ever heard again. So, that's common in the genre.
Listen, that's bands getting creative with what they're doing, especially when you're doing it for a long time. So again, I gave that one it's about a 3.5 out of 5, slightly below Red album. So Baroness Blue album, I highly recommend, especially for any metalheads out there. That's a really, really good album. So those are our reviews for last week. Now, before we go into our stories, I actually saw a movie yesterday, Ralph. I saw Mission Impossible 5 finally.
Let me guess. You liked it. Tom Cruise, the best action
I'm
star.
not
He
even
doesn't
gonna say
get enough credit. Each movie's better than the last.
See, that's your mindset, acting like you won't even appreciate the movie. Dude, I'm not kidding you.
I've seen the movie.
No, you've seen the first 2.
Okay, I haven't seen this movie.
Yeah, you've seen the first 2. I went in with high expectations, as I went with Justin Wallers and Micah. I went in with extremely high expectations, as did all of us. And I'm not kidding you. Start to finish, it starts. It's a 2.5-hour movie that feels like it's an hour and 20, and it's very hard to pace action like that and not have like that lull where it's like the almost like towards the climax where bad stuff's happening and it's slow and they're building the story. It just goes and goes and goes. As entertained as I've been by an action movie, more than even the recent Mission Impossible movies. The reviews that it's getting, it's like 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, saying it's one of the best action movies of all time. I can't stress enough how fucking entertaining this damn movie was and the stuff that they did. I don't know if they'll ever be able to top this.
So is it exactly what you expect when you see a Mission Impossible, but like in a good way? I don't mean
yeah, it was. I'm afraid with an action series, especially where it goes, that you can only get to a point where you're just trying to one up the tricks you've done in previous ones.
Fast and Furious.
Well, Die Hard is the one I'm thinking of specifically. Die Hard was always trying to one up from the original, and they never really got there. Although, like, I love Die Hard with Vengeance. I liked Live Free or Die Hard, but then between Die Hard 2 and A Good Day to Die Hard, they were just getting absurd and silly, and at that point, it wasn't even worth it.
I think movies, and it's hard because when you make a movie, it's an investment. You're just going, how much money am I going to make back on this movie? Let's be honest. I always would like to see a genre like that, bigger, and then all of a sudden you have this minimalistic, just kind of out of nowhere, same theme, same characters.
And that's kind of what Mission Impossible 2 was when you look at it.
I like when they do. That's what happened with Kanye, where he went the opposite. I said, I want Kanye to go album, bigger, more crazy. Let's do a throwback album completely out of nowhere. Yeah, granted, it's different. Albums and movies are
for sure.
But I think when you do something that completely veers off the track, like what he did with 808s. I still don't like 808s, but I can respect he doing something
absolutely.
Like
and
I would like to see an action franchise try something like that. Maybe they will.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you look at the Mission Impossible movies, 2 is the outlier, the one that has the least amount of action, the most story, I guess.
2.
2 is not a bad movie, but on its own compared to the other ones, it's by far the worst one. But so Mission Impossible 5, like I said, movie flew by. For any action fans, you got to see it. The score, I was talking to Justin like during the movie, it came off very much like a Christopher Nolan action movie, like the action sequences in The Dark Knight Rises, where it just builds and builds and builds. And the score, I was like, this sounds like Hans Zimmer, and apparently the composer is like the protege of Hans Zimmer. So that's why the score had that big feel to it, and it set the tone of the movie.
Is it the same director each Mission Impossible?
No, this is actually the first time they've used a repeat director. The very first Mission Impossible was Brian De Palma, actually.
Really?
Yeah, Brian De Palma. The second one was John Woo. Third was J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams has produced all of them from Mission Impossible 3 to this one.
J.J. Abrams just has his hand in everything.
Yeah, of course, and you naturally had the lens flares in this one, because you can't have a J.J. Abrams movie without a lens flare.
I don't mind the lens flares.
No, honestly, they don't do anything to the movie for me.
Now that it's been brought out to me, like,
it's
I can't
obvious.
unsee them, but like I don't mind them.
So yeah, guys, go see Mission Impossible Fallout. Definitely recommend it. So what do you got for us this week, Ralph? I know you said that there's something about a band you really like.
Yeah, so last week actually, Minus the Bear announced that they're doing their last tour, recording one last album, and they're breaking up. Sounds like on good terms.
Okay, yeah. So there'll be a reunion tour in 10 years?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Naturally.
But thing about Minus the Bear is they're not one of my favorite bands. Even their albums, none of their albums really rank up there for me. But Minus the Bear is actually a really important band for me. And when they broke up, it was one of those things, like, I didn't expect to be sad. Like, I didn't actually even know Minus the Bear was still around. But when I actually saw they were breaking up, I got sad.
I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've ever listened to a full
album. You would hate
Minus
the Bear.
Probably.
They're not a Dan band.
Probably.
I actually thought about just giving you an album this week just to fuck with you, but then I'm like,
I probably not.
I love Minus the Bear. Lots of people do. Minus the Bear, they're classified as math rock, which is basically...
What the fuck is math rock?
It's a hipster way of saying progressive rock, but progressive rock's dad rock.
They really call it math rock?
They don't. I
want to throw a rock at their skulls.
That's what, like, Pitchfork calls it.
But
I'm with you. It's infuriating.
I gotta understand the reason for math rock, but like, is there social studies rock, art class rock, schoolhouse
biology rock,
biology rock, oceanography rock, bio rock.
They're good instruments, but again, they're one of those bands where I think you would say they're too tight. They don't sound like they're having fun.
Yeah,
just
based on the band name, I would think that about them.
They're very pretentious, but.
If you like them, you like them.
The importance to them is, in 2007, they released Planet of Ice, which was, I think, one of their first breakouts. And that album, I heard when I was in a very, like, Zeppelin phase. My musical growth went from...
So you were gay?
Yeah, that's exactly. It went from like Green Day. It went from like Baha Men to Green Day.
You were listening to Who Let the Dogs Out on repeat?
Who Let the Dogs was like my second. These are the albums I bought. My first album was Weird Al Running with Scissors.
Oh, I had that one.
Then I think the other Weird Al album that had Amish Paradise, Bad Hair Day.
Bad Hair Day, yeah.
Then my first album I've ever bought was Baha Men, which had like 8 versions of Who Let the Dogs Out.
They had like one other single. I don't remember the name of it, but I remember them having one other music video. And you're like, the Baha Men are coming out with this new banger. And then people heard it. They're like, what the hell is this shit? Who let the dogs out? Like, who greenlit that song?
It was whoever did's a millionaire.
Yeah, it's true. And it was on the Rugrats soundtrack, so it made all that Rugrats money, too.
Do they ever in the song, because it's really hard to understand them, find out who actually did let the dogs out?
I don't think so.
Or is
Because
it a
I think the
rhetorical
problem
question?
was that the party was tight, the party was jumping. Yippee-I-O. And everyone was having a ball. Like, how can you expect to know who let the dogs out when there's that many people at a party that is tight and jumping?
Would it be really depressing if the music video just took a dark turn where the dogs are out and then like cars are hitting them and they're rabid?
The party's at Eric Clapton's apartment and his son is out on the balcony. Who let Eric Clapton's son out? Splat, splat, splat. Oh, that's mean.
At least we're just killing the kids this week.
Rather than what?
Anyway, Mama's a Bear. No. Then after that, it was Silver Size Up by Nickelback.
You bought Nickelback?
I did not have a good first step
your
into music.
musical palette was very unrefined.
Then Dookie. Maybe Dookie, then Silver Side
I think
Up.
the first album I bought with my own money was Hellbilly Deluxe by Rob Zombie. That was the first album I bought with my own money. And
that's a good one to start with.
Yeah, it was, especially at that age when I was first starting to get like into metal somewhat. It was definitely a good one. So, are they doing? They're doing a farewell tour. Are they playing around here?
Yeah, they're going.
Are you gonna go?
I'm gonna try. I want to see them live. I've never seen them. But
I mean, this is as good a chance as any. Someone's definitely going to die in that 10-year span they're broken up.
I hope so.
Probably someone important to the band.
Why would I even say that? It's just an easy joke to make.
Yeah,
I hope so.
And you were just saying that the band's important to you. I hope he dies.
But the importance of the band was it was one of the first bands. There's a few albums that kind of shifted me from, I don't want to listen.
From Baha Men to good music?
It was Arcade Fire Funeral. Planet of Ice.
R. Kelly Trapped in the Closet.
R. Kelly Trapped in the Closet. The Shins, Wincing the Night Away. So it kind of...
For Everything Comes Alive.
This band has a very important... It's in my musical development, had an important effect on me, and I kind of feel like I never respected them as much as I should have.
Well, maybe that's why they broke up, because their fans weren't respecting them
They have
enough.
a couple great
fans
albums.
like you.
Planet of the Ice, Omni, has a song called Into the Mirror, which is just about doing loads of cocaine while cheating on your wife. Eric Clapton.
Is that in your future?
It's probably...
in my present, hopefully.
Yeah, my go-to is it's in my past, but again, that's just me reacting. That doesn't actually make a joke.
Improv Ralph is off today.
Improv Ralph stinks.
We never liked Improv Ralph much.
No one likes Improv Ralph. But they're doing their farewell tour. I think, they're probably touring. If you like Mama's a Bear, this is the last time to see them. Buy tickets now.
For at least 10 years.
Dan 10 code.
Yeah, Dan P10. Which
Dan just buys all tickets.
We have a new employee at Select a Ticket. Jason Wallers now works with us.
Oh, it's official?
Yeah, he works with us. And
the sounds of women being turned off are...
His first day, and I love Jay. I was hanging out with him last night. He's a bit of a character. I pull into the parking lot, and so we have you could park along the building, and then there's our company car that's right on the curb, and then there's like 2 parking spots behind the company car. I pull up, and Jay is parked halfway in the entrance of the parking lot. So I have to, like, go over a curb just to get in because he parked like a jackass.
Why did he do that?
Well, because I don't know, because he's one of our friends. I can't really explain exactly why. It's fun working with it's literally I work with 4 or 3 of my friends now. 3 of my friends in Colucci. So I had a couple stories. So to be honest with you guys, I didn't have a ton of time to really prep because, like I said, I came back to a shitstorm and I had a wedding Friday night. But I lifted some stuff from Comic-Con that was announced. First and foremost, did you watch Deadwood when it was on HBO?
No.
Oh, dude, you would love Deadwood. Was one of the best HBO. I'm serious. It's only 3 seasons before it got canceled, and people have been clamoring for.
Are they making a movie?
They're making a movie. HBO is officially making a Deadwood movie with the original cast, which is awesome. You should watch Deadwood. It's like a much darker Tombstone. Like Tombstone's a great fucking movie.
My dad loved. I watch Tombstone with my dad all the time.
Tombstone's great. It's definitely awesome. So I'm very excited to see that they're finally going.
How many? It's
only 3 seasons. Deadwood. Yeah, it's like an HBO series, so like 10 to 12 episodes.
Anyone like famous that like I would know?
You wouldn't. I look it up on your phone or on the website. You would definitely know people from it. I haven't watched it since it originally aired, but I'm gonna go back and watch it now that I know the movie's being made.
I have it on demand, so I'll watch it.
Yeah, and I mean that's for me. Like they're doing that. They're doing the Sopranos prequel movie about when the Black Gangs were beefing with the Italian mafia back in with Tony Soprano's dad and his uncle that the movie's going to be about. So it's really cool to see them going back revisiting things that we know there's other stories on. So there was a couple other things from the new Godzilla trailer. Looked awesome. I don't know if you don't like the Godzilla movie, the most recent one.
So I like Godzilla when it's like old, crappy rubber suit Godzilla. Like I saw the new one and it's fun. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
But that's not Godzilla to me. Godzilla to me is corny. I don't know what's going on.
Well, anything is better than the one with Matthew Broderick from
that one was great, dude.
Dude, I can't believe that was still a movie. I went to a Riff Tracks live of it a couple years back, and you forget how bad that movie is until you actually like have people making fun of it as it's happening.
It's got there's no positive nostalgia about it either.
No, it's so bad. Like, I mean, because some actors are in it, but Matthew Broderick as a hero really doesn't work ever.
Why does Godzilla look like he went through a blender?
Yeah, Godzilla with that spraying fire in that movie too. Doesn't have the fire breath.
You know what's great? The Japanese company that I guess owns Godzilla was like, no, that's not Godzilla. That's a different monster.
Yeah, it didn't even.
It's non-canon.
Yeah, he was just like a regular lizard, like a gecko is what he looked like. It was a girl Godzilla.
Oh, it's really?
Remember she laid eggs in Madison Square Garden. It was truly horrendous.
Maybe a top 10 player will hatch for the Knicks.
No, probably not. No, they'll just trade him. They hire Phil Jackson to take care of it again. The other ones I saw, the trailer for Glass, the Split and Unbreakable sequel.
I'm actually excited for that.
That looks really cool. And Unbreakable, I probably think is M. Night Shyamalan's best movie. Unbreakable's phenomenal.
I think I agree with it.
And I really like Split, Split, I don't know if I would have liked it as much if not for the twist. I like Split a lot, but the ending tied it off for me perfectly.
Split was okay. I didn't like Split nearly as much as everyone else did, but for M. Night Shyamalan,
it was a good M. Night Shyamalan.
For that director,
just say M. Night.
M. Night,
like him personally.
It's a great movie. I think for anyone else, it would just be a middle of the road.
McAvoy was great in that movie. He was great.
He was good.
And the ending, the way they tied it off with Unbreakable, I was very happy with because there were and if you watch it back, there's little things that give it away throughout the movie, just like he always gives away his endings, like in the beginning of the movie. And the other big news before we go into your stuff and any picks, they are going to be using Carrie Fisher in episode 9, which I'm very excited to see.
And they said Mark Hamill, though, too.
Yeah, you had to figure he was going to be some kind of Force ghost.
But you don't admit that.
No, yes, you have to.
Why?
Because it's going to get leaked out regardless. You know it's going to.
But
you know it's going to. The second he's on set, they're going to leak out. And no, it was confirmed a while ago that Mark Hamill was going to be in it. It was confirmed but before episode 8 was even out.
Here's the problem with this. I love Star Wars. Me and you are both big Star Wars fans, but we're different. You like going deep into everything. You like all the expanded universe. I like what's in the movies is all that I care about. Yeah. I don't care about the games I like the games, but that's not part of the story for me. To me, there's 8 Star Wars movies, and then you got the other ones, which I really don't care about, but okay, those count too. And when a Star Wars movie comes out, I don't watch any trailers. I don't read any theories. I go in completely blind. Because that's how it was when I was a little kid.
Yeah, of course.
I'm never going to recapture that nostalgia, but I want to get as close as possible. So when I hear stuff like this, and granted, I understand your point, it does ruin a little for me because I want to go, oh, Luke's back.
You had to know he was going to be in it.
I know, but I don't know. I know, but I don't want to know.
Yeah, but you know. That should not change exactly how you feel if you know.
Okay, how about this?
Like, you didn't know Yoda was going to be in episode 8, and that was a really cool spot. That. No one knew that one because he's not an actor. Getting a puppet on set so you can't get leaked out is a lot easier than getting a human actor as recognizable as Mark Hamill on set.
In your relationship, you're clearly being cheated on because you're shit.
Yes.
You know it. We all know it.
Yeah,
but you don't know it yet. So, until you know it, do you really know it?
I think you missed the spot there. You overshot the landing.
What?
I missed. Swing and a miss.
On me or you?
Both.
By the way, we're still recording.
Yeah, we're still recording. It's just that we found a dead end there.
By the way,
went in circles.
So the fiance, when we recorded our thing, she talks a lot slower. She talks real quick. Then she stops, collects her thoughts, and talks real quick.
Was she drinking?
So no. I swear, she was.
Okay.
You know what? Okay, let's do it again. Let's go with the bit.
Was she drinking?
Oh, yeah. Fucking shitface.
Always.
So, she would go, I really like Natalie Portman a lot.
And that's it. Oh my God! Did you just?
And then I'd be like, "What?" And she's like, "I'm thinking." And I'm like, "I had to cut out so much dead air."
That's what, she just is dead air, isn't she?
She's a dead weight.
Oh, I just fucking beefed.
Good.
It was a nice one.
All right.
All right. So what do you got for me now?
Okay. So I tried really hard to be a social justice warrior.
Oh God. Well, you don't have to try hard. That's just who you are.
It's just who I am. It's in my blood. But you know what, Dan? Despite my best efforts, you and I are shit.
Okay.
We're a horrible, misogynistic.
I agree with
shit.
that. I tend to agree.
Because a professor said that wing-eating shows, such as Hot Ones, is problematic for women because spicy food shows toxic masculinity competing or something. I don't know. I can't.
So are you telling me because of the Death Nut Challenge, I am a misogynistic?
misogynist?
Fuck. That must hurt you being such a social justice warrior.
I know. I try really hard.
That you,
Professor Emily Conchois thinks that
Cunt Choice.
Holy shit! That really is her name.
Oh, is it really? It's Cunt Choice.
I mean, I
she's one of those things.
I think it's pronounced Contois, but you could pronounce it that way and like be innocent because it does look like that's how it's spelled.
I guess it's misogynistic of me to call her that as well.
How dare you pronounce her name how it's spelled?
Cunt Choice. Okay.
According to her paper, the spicy spectacular food, gender, and mainstream manipulation, inequality. This is the name of the paper.
Wait, read the title of the paper.
Oh, wait, I skipped a line. I'm sorry. Her journal, published in Feminist Media Studies, says that the spicy spectacular show Hot Ones creates, maintains, and manipulates inequitable gender hierarchies through the interrelated performances of gender, food consumption, and celebrity. In other words, she does that. Society doesn't accept women eating spicy food, so they can't eat spicy food.
I've heard a lot of things that we don't accept women doing. Some people don't want. Some people are upset that they're adding create a player and you can make a woman in the next NBA Live game for the first time. I never thought about spicy food being.
She said it's
gender...
problematic because it's hosted by a white, heterosexual, cisgendered, everyman brand of masculinity.
Is this an Onion article?
No. I actually Googled it.
There's no way, because what she just said on that new Sacha Baron Cohen show, one of his characters plays a self-hating white cisgender male who's upset that the election was stolen from President Hillary Clinton. That's literally there's no way this woman really wrote this, that spicy food is setting the gender's norms back.
She said that there's only been 11 women on the show and we need more women.
Well,
do women
no one's stopping them. I'm
a little confused. So women can't handle their spicy foods. Put more women on the show and don't give them spicy food. I don't understand what her argument is.
That's like the WNBA argument that they're saying they deserve to get paid, like the NBA players. I'm like, okay, if you can have half the fan base that the NBA does, how about do they even have a quarter of the fan base that the NBA does? The WNBA?
I actually do think their fan base is bigger than we think.
It's probably like a Red Bull, like an MLS.
Yeah, I think it's closer to MLS where they do have fans who are very
loyal. Yeah,
I think actually a lot of hardcore basketball, we love about basketball, we love the craft of basketball, they respect it.
Yeah, I mean,
the way you and I are with baseball.
I'll watch almost any kind of baseball. I mean, I guess that's true. I can't name a single person I know personally that follows the WNBA.
I actually know someone, but he's a cameraman for the Liberty.
Okay,
so
that doesn't count. I'd be a cameraman for anything. I'll be a cameraman for Rosie O'Donnell's porno industry if I'm getting paid.
Her entire industry?
Yeah, her making the movies. But it doesn't mean I want to watch it. Do you know anyone that actually? Do you know anyone that? Oh,
Rosie on Top.
Rosie Does Dallas. What?
I can't say it. I'll write it down.
Okay, write it down, and then I'll read it as if I said it.
No.
Let me see. No. I guess it's something that is this out of this character of social justice warrior Ralph, SJW.
It's bad.
It can't be that bad. I'm not going to say it.
I'm
not going to say it. Oh no, that's my sister's riding the bus. Yeah, the one where Rosie O'Donnell plays the developmentally disabled woman, and she thought she was gonna win Emmys. It's such a funny bad. It's honestly, you do the conversation from Tropic Thunder when he's talking about what you have to, his exact line is, "You never go full retard in a movie." Tom Hanks perfect. Sean Penn and I Am Sam too much, and Sean Penn was terrible in I Am Sam. It was too much. Rosie O'Donnell and Riding the Bus with My Sister was the name of the movie. It wasn't that bad. I hope that's not the porno, though.
I'm saying,
was that the joke?
How poorly received would it be if they based a porno off that movie?
Oh,
do you think people would lose their jobs if they did that?
Riding My Sister on the back of the bus. Oh God. Let's go back to the kitty touching jokes, not these ones.
So from You Watch I Listen, me and Dan do really want to apologize for doing the Death Nut Challenge. I guess when
wait, are you apologizing for both of us?
I'm apologizing.
All right, you do your apology, then I'll do mine. Apologize for us.
I just did.
Oh, but who are you apologizing to? Women?
This lady.
And women everywhere?
Contois.
If Contois, whatever your name is, I don't apologize. Ralph doesn't apologize. The show doesn't apologize. Ralph might apologize alone, but that is when he is unaffiliated with You Watch I Listen. As a representative of You Watch I Listen, I wish nothing but the worst on you, and I will eat all the spicy food I can today. In fact, I have buffalo chicken pizza inside that I'm going to enjoy.
You know what's kind of ironic? We do the Death Nut Challenge on the only show we have a woman on, too.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
So,
oh my God, she might be right. Did we subconsciously use the Death Nut Challenge to flex our masculinity on Michaela? I think that's what what maybe happened here. We ate such spicy food that how could they not be intimidated by us? We're such white privileged threats, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's how you've been feeling for a long time,
dude. I really can't apologize enough. Do you want to do one other story?
Yeah, give me another story.
This little girl can't feel pain. She got dragged by a car, but she's all right because she can't feel pain.
Why? So she's like Bruce Willis in Unbreakable.
Let's see. She's missing a chromosome, but not like she's not Down syndrome. Apparently there's different chromosomes you can miss, and some are more important than others. And apparently she doesn't have fear. Like she doesn't.
She's a superhero,
and she can't feel pain. She got hit by a car, was dragged, stood up and started walking away, and they said the only reason that she wasn't dead was because she didn't even realize it was a bad situation, so her body just went limp and she just went with it.
How did she walk? How can she walk if she doesn't feel anything?
Well, I think she can feel. She can't feel pain.
So her nerve endings are fucked. Something got damaged that the nerve endings aren't feeling anything.
Like, look, she got dragged by a car. All she has is a little cut on her lip.
What kind of car was it? Was it like a Prius? Was it going to vote for Ralph Nader?
I drive a Prius.
No, you don't. You should drive a Prius. I can see you'll get a smart car soon. I think.
Yeah,
because you must be very excited about the plastic straw ban.
Oh yeah.
What do you think that New Jersey should enact something like the plastic straw ban, like the great state of California is doing?
What's the next thing we're going to attack?
Garbage bags. We won't be allowed to have garbage bags. We're gonna have to recycle all our own trash. The best that whole straw thing is so funny watching people lose their collective minds about it on both sides. I think it's absurd that you'd ban
the OK
straw.
side. By the way, the OK side means white power now, but it doesn't.
OKKK is what it is.
But
like, what did you hear that the whole thing about the plastic straw study was made up by a 9-year-old that someone took as a serious thing? So,
to be fair, it probably isn't good for the environment, but like
I'm sure, but
so is it, the coal industry.
We're like America's responsible for 5% of the plastic in the ocean, and we act like we're the sole proprietors of any kind of pollution in there. But you should be on that boat, I think. That seems up your alley.
You know what? This week, I want examples of things that I'm not protesting enough. Give me... I really don't feel enough guilt.
I don't think you're protesting plastic and recycling enough. I think you are. I guess you should be protesting for recycling.
I got yelled at because I keep throwing my cans in the regular garbage. And
well, I do try to recycle here at home.
The recycling...
They'll fine you if they find out you're not recycling.
The recycling complex is like half a mile away from the dumpster.
Okay.
And like it's late at night, I'm bringing out the garbage. I'm not walking half a mile just to save a few turtles. Like,
well, how many turtles? Like, if I told you not throwing it out would save how many turtles? What would make you stop doing that?
All right. Let's play this game.
What if I told you you were going to kill 5 turtles if you threw that out? What would you still throw it out?
I'll throw it in the dumpster and walk back.
Okay. What about so at 5? What about 10 turtles? 10 turtles are dead.
How are they dying? Like
they're the most horrific way possible.
But like what?
Strangulation, choking, whichever.
I do cut the rings.
Okay, you cut the rings.
But it's like can't.
But it's gonna kill 10 turtles. Do you feel bad?
Over what period of time?
A year.
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, it's gonna kill 15 turtles and 2 dolphins.
Are they jerk dolphins or nice dolphins?
Nice dolphins. You're not being much of a social justice warrior here.
No, the dolphins.
And an orca.
And an orca? Well, orcas are jerks. They eat
why are they
seals.
jerks? So what? Fuck a seal. Seals are jerks. Seals are assholes.
No, in my
that video that's around the orca chucking the baby seal like 40 feet in the air is one of my favorite things ever.
Did you ever see the video of the hawk who grabs a goat and just throws it off a cliff?
Yes, that's a really dude. When we were out in Montana,
a hawk threw you off a cliff.
Well, I listen to this. So the first house we were staying at in Glacier National Park, we were outside one night and we heard like something in the lining of the house, like in between, and it sounds like it's like little squeaking. So it's like mice or squirrel. All of a sudden, bats come piling out of it. We're talking like 60 bats must have flew out of the side of the house. And I'm like, I'm going to go inside quick. And as I go inside, a bat flies by and it rubs me right on the belly as it flies by. And I don't know why my first instinct was I did the fucking Mr. Pillsbury noise just as it happened. So I was like, whoo-hoo! I'm fucking make such an ass out of myself.
I would karate chop a bat in a second.
We used to have a lot of bats around here in West Melford. Now we
don't.
I
do think the environment...
Well,
isn't there a bat shortage?
Yeah, there was a fungus that was going around the Northeast that was like killing all the bats.
Does it come from cans?
Yes, it comes from. You got to recycle more.
I'll say bats. I'll say bats.
There was a
I should recycle.
Well, I want bats around just because they get rid of fucking mosquitoes and spiders and flies, and we have a ton of that shit out here.
Okay, you know what? You're right. I'll recycle.
You start recycling, Ralph. I mean,
recycle.
I don't think you necessarily should go out of your way. So I would probably do the same thing you did. But if you can be conscious about it, and it's not 10 o'clock at night, and you don't have to walk a mile and a half to throw out your recycling, you should go ahead.
By the way, I said half a mile. It's closer to like 10 extra feet.
50 feet.
It's actually a very reasonable distance away.
Oh my God! All right. Did you have any other stories, or we want to go into our picks for this week?
I'm trying to see if there's anything interesting with this kid. Dragged by a car. She's
Yay.
fine. She recycles.
She recycles. That's a pretty good one. Oh, you know what? I don't know if you wanted to touch...
I had another story, but let me find it.
What do you think about James Gunn? Not Jamie Gum.
Jamie Gum?
Would you? No, James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh my God!
I feel like it's an old story at this point.
Listen, it's just like the Roseanne thing. Disney knew what they were getting with this guy when they hired him. Like they knew about these tweets that he made, just like ABC knew what they were getting with Roseanne. She's a comedian that skirts around the edges of what's appropriate, what's not, and she says outlandish shit. And you react after the fact because there's public outrage. I listen, pedophilia jokes. I don't care what anyone says. They can be funny. They can be done well. Is that why? Again,
notice that
people dictating what's funny again is absurd.
Remember, only one person on the show makes them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the one making them, but I know for a fact you've laughed at some raunchy shit. We all do. And
well, we're at the point you're not even allowed to enjoy.
No, it's unfortunately what people on the right are doing, and they're using what the left weaponized forever in your words, and the left seems to really enjoy those pedophilia jokes, like Michael Ian. People are going after Michael Ian Black. The one thing that was great is watching the Mike Chernovich or whatever, one of those big guys on the right, went after Patton Oswalt, digging up his old tweets, and was had his guys retweeting them, not realizing that the tweets they were retweeting was how Patton Oswalt was trying to prove at the time that out of context any tweet can be misconstrued, so they made an ass out of themselves in the first place.
I'm really getting sick of.
It's well, I mean,
let's just delete and restart.
Let's
do the road. Let's go to the road.
Or like the Matrix at the end of the Matrix Revolutions, where everything was starting again. The best Matrix movie in the series.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a joke. The first one.
I understand.
The first one.
We've had Matrix. We talk about the Matrix like every 3 episodes.
And Matrix and Home Alone and the Japanese we talk about a lot. What do you think of the Japanese?
Please. I'm not even. Please, I can't edit it. It took me. I have schoolwork to do tonight.
How long did it take you to edit out?
A lot.
That word.
Please,
I said you. Japanese this time.
I know you did.
If you can just, in theory, what you should do this time, change it up. Just cut out the anise that I'm saying.
Please stop.
I'm watching you squirm, and it's making me happy.
I know you're doing it.
We're gonna have to slap.
Please stop.
I just said Japanese.
All right. Let's get to our picks.
All right.
You just aren't. You know what? I was going between 2 albums, and I'm giving you the one that.
All right. So, oh, great. That means it's gonna suck. All right. What album are you giving me, Ralph?
Are you a fan of The Weeknd?
No, not at all. Not even a little bit.
So I'm gonna give you a little bit of a story.
Great.
Wait, where are we going with this?
The Weeknd.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have an E in the name.
I know, it's Weeknd.
The
Weeknd.
So when the Weeknd actually blew onto the scene, came on,
blew everyone at the scene.
When he kind of came out of nowhere, he released an album called House of Balloons, House of Balloons, he didn't have a persona yet. He wasn't a public figure. It just one day there was an account from the record company. It said, this is a mixtape. It's called House of Balloons. Download. Okay. Completely different than the rest of his other work. It's this weird, grimy concept album about like a house party in the ghetto and how like drugged up and drunk everyone are, and it's a weird ass album.
So what's the name of the album by The Weeknd?
House of Balloons.
House of Balloons?
Yeah.
This doesn't have that awful single on it, does it?
Doesn't have any singles. Completely different style than the rest of it.
I hated that. I can't feel my face when I'm with you song.
Yeah, no, none of that.
That shit was terrible.
This is dark and grimy. I'm going to be honest. I don't think you're going to like this album, but I think it's going to be completely different than your expectations.
All right. I mean, I don't mind different. I just...
It was so cool because for his first, like, 6 months of existence, no one knew who he was.
Yeah.
And he released this album, which a lot of funk was inspired, a lot of soul. Granted, it's a Weeknd album, so, you know, if you're expecting...
Can you please say it correctly? Weeknd.
The Weeknd. It's a Weeknd.
I think I'm negative towards him just because of the fact that he chooses to spell his name like that.
Weeknd.
And still be called Weeknd.
It's got a cool album art. It's, like, very throwback.
Okay, so you mentioned album art a lot. I got to ask you, does the album art make a difference in how you feel about the album? I don't understand that concept.
Okay, this is my view of album art. It's actually interesting you brought this up because I just read an article about it yesterday. John Baisley, who's the lead singer of Baroness.
John Baisdow?
Yeah, John Baisdow. Didn't he die from the flood?
No.
Oh.
Hopefully not, at least.
What happened to him?
He's still in infomercials.
He died in the flood.
He's still in infomercials. I see him around.
John Baisley, he does all the artwork for Baroness. And he wrote an article how the album art actually is an integral part of the album, where if you're going to put an album out, you have to convey what the album is about. Either you have an album where the art is completely unrelated to the music, or the album and the music are like kind of tied together somehow.
Kind of like Tool.
And while I don't judge the music by the art, I think that's kind of stupid. I think that's really pretentious. I do think if you're looking at the album as a complete whole of the band when they are in the time, why did they make it, how is this related to their other albums, what do the lyrics mean, how does this album art correlate to it? If you just put, you know, The Weeknd, House of Balloons, I do think that loses some, but you might want to capture some with this. This album art has like a woman, her face is obscured, covered in balloons in like a bathtub, and it's like sepia
Is it like
tone.
the woman in the bathtub in The Shining?
Yeah, just same thing.
That's so hot.
I actually wasn't going to give you this album, but I was listening to it, I'm like, I really like this one.
All right. I mean, if I end up liking it, that'll be...
This is my prediction. I don't think you're going to like the album, and I think you're going to have a lot of criticisms for it, but I think you're going to be like, this is actually a lot different than what I expected.
Okay, yeah, because I have one impression of The Weeknd, and
I haven't listened to any of The Weeknd since House of Balloons, because you lose something when you're an anonymous guy releasing this album, which is kind of dark and gritty. And then all of a sudden you're, you know, doing the Super Bowl halftime show. There's a difference.
Wait, he did the Super Bowl halftime show?
He does something. He's always around.
Probably, I don't know if he was at the Super Bowl halftime show.
I don't know. Halftime show's ranked. Go.
Prince.
Prince number
Michael
one.
Jackson.
I didn't see Michael Jackson.
The famous Michael Jackson one?
No,
I've
seen it, but I didn't see that live. So.
Lady Gaga was actually pretty good 2 years ago.
U2 after 9/11 was pretty good.
That was pretty good. The worst I can think of, Justin Timberlake was terrible this past year. The Black Eyed Peas were horrendous.
Terrible.
Paul
McCartney was really bad when he
was
did it.
Bruce was good when he did it. And
Bruce is good, but you got Bruce. He didn't
Bruce.
get anything special.
You really can't go wrong. I'd really have to think about the halftime show. Michael Jackson's, I think Prince is the best, but Michael Jackson's might be the most like definitive, iconic.
Tom Petty's the best because what was happening during the game?
What, the Giants winning? Won't back down?
And Madonna. Madonna had a good one.
I hate that crazy bitch, but yeah, she was good. She looks good for
her age.
Who else? There was one. Actually, I was surprised that Bruno Mars was actually pretty good a few years ago when the Chili Peppers came out.
Oh, that's that's what I was thinking of. I said The Weeknd, but I meant Bruno Mars.
Wait, is this a Bruno Mars album?
No.
I was like,
Weeknd album.
You're thinking Bruno Mars.
I really legitimately was thinking of Bruno Mars when I said The Weeknd.
Are you trying to say they look alike?
No, they look nothing alike.
That MLB tweet they got in trouble for?
Yo,
sent you?
that was bad.
It was a picture of Ichiro shaking hands with Otani from the Angels, and they put the caption of Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man meme. And before what were they? Listen, I understand what they were saying, but if you're running the MLB Twitter account, probably a little ill-advised.
Okay, let's pull back the curtain a little bit. I'm not nearly a social justice warrior as I like to pretend, but that one someone probably should lose their job over.
Yeah,
like that one's hard to argue.
Like my guess is the person that's running is probably some dumb like 21-year-old intern who he was just like, oh, they're both from Japan, so why don't we do it like that? Without realizing that he's playing on one of the oldest stereotypes. When I saw it, I just face palmed for the poor kid. I don't think there was any malice there. But
I think it's a dumb kid. I mean, and hopefully he doesn't get fired. Hopefully they say you're not allowed to use our Twitter.
Wow, we
anymore.
really spun off from you recommending The Weeknd to the Japanese MLB meme controversy.
I had 2 albums. One that I think you would really like, and then this one.
Oh,
Which
thank you. I appreciate.
I'll give you that one next week.
All right, good. All right, so I'm gonna give you my movie pick now. And I've been thinking about this one for a while, and I ran a poll on Twitter to see what kind of genre to recommend you. And we've been talking about it so much. We talked about it today. I'm finally going to give you Mission Impossible 3 with Philip Seymour Hoffman. Okay. It is, for me, MI2. I know you said you like MI2, and I do to a lesser extent.
Let me take a step back.
Go ahead.
I've seen MI2, and I remember going, I like that movie. That's all it is.
It's entertaining. I mean, when it came out, it was a huge deal. It made a lot of money. It was when John Woo was like, everyone was after him in Hollywood, coming over from Japan. But compared to
John Woo came from Japan? Did he come from Hong Kong?
It's tomato. See, we're playing that stereotype again. Same difference. He's pointing at Spider-Man. Spider-Man pointing at him.
You did that without any
Of
irony,
course I
too.
did. I don't know where he's from.
John Woo. That doesn't sound like a Japanese name.
It does to me. Do you have to edit this out?
No,
so he's not a Japanese man.
man.
So anyway, MI2 has the least amount of action, and I like it, but the action scenes are great, but the storyline is dragged out. Mission Impossible 3, it came out in 2006, I want to say. Tom Cruise again. It was the first one J.J. Abrams directed or was involved with. The thing that really sells this movie for me, as great as the action sequences are, this has the best villain in all the movies, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman. There's an interrogation scene in the movie that is probably one of the best scenes in the movie, period. Once the movie starts, the action really doesn't stop, and it's just insanely entertaining, and it set the bar for what this whole run from Mission Impossible 3 to 4, 5, and now Fallout, where they've gotten better and better and better while still staying in that same realm. They can create tension without going too over the top, which is very, very hard to do, where you can actually create this dramatic stuff without it being twists for the sake of twists. Mm-hmm. And Mission Impossible always goes with twists because they have the whole mask technology and how they can set up sets and everything. But it always feels like it comes at the right time, the exact perfect time. And Mission Impossible 3 set that standard that is setting one of the highest standards in an action franchise in general. So Mission Impossible 3, I think you're really going to like it.
I'm sure I will.
I honestly think the fiance will like it. I've never met anyone that watched these movies and said they suck. Most people are like, people don't even like Tom Cruise. Like, the Mission Impossible movies are great.
Tom Cruise movies keep giving me so far haven't been bad.
It's weird. People people definitely go into his movies with that mindset because of the Scientology thing and how much of a wacko he is. But it plays well for this role because he's produced all the movies himself.
Would it be great if he's right after all this, that like all the Scientology stuff is 100% true?
Oh my, and we're wrong. That we should have been fearing the Dark Lord Xenu.
Oh no, I don't want to get sued.
Why? Who? Oh, the Scientologists.
Sue us.
What about the Westboro Baptist Church?
I think are they still around?
Yeah, they're still around.
I thought they disbanded.
No, there was just Howard just had them on again recently.
I love when they go on radio shows because they just
George Takei, when he used to before George Takei got all weird, when he used to be on Howard, and
he's not on Howard anymore. I thought he still did something.
He still does it. So I honestly barely listen to Howard ever anymore.
I don't listen to Howard
but
in years.
It was when George Takei was still kind of funny and kind of cool, and he hasn't been for a long time. But he used to go on with the Westboro Baptist Church and like debate them and argue them, and they always made just complete fools of themselves. That inbred weirdo family.
Ron always handled them the best because he would interview them, but instead of just yelling at them or saying you're wrong, he would just be like, "Oh, so they're all going to hell? Interesting." like he actually gave them a platform and let them. You know what we need to do, and I feel like we got away from, if people are assholes, just let them be assholes. Don't censor an asshole. Let an asshole be an asshole and show how stupid they are.
But here, okay, that's a good point. But here's the question: is letting them be an asshole? Are you saying I don't think the media should necessarily cover people like that are assholes, like that douche Richard Spencer? Like they're covering him, and then they go to like these speaking engagements where he's got 10 people in attendance and there's 40 cameras there.
Well,
that's stupid.
Here's the thing, though. You're now making a story. You're controlling the narrative.
Yeah, of course.
A guy going on your show going like, all right, what you got for me? That's different than like, you know.
Well, and so they actually brought up a great point, something topical again, was letting someone just be an asshole, which is what Sacha Baron Cohen is doing on. Have you watched it yet?
I haven't. I've seen clips of it. I actually haven't seen.
Oh my God! He definitely, he's left leaning, of course, but he's not being obnoxious about it. He's just letting these people make assholes of himself.
In the past, he didn't really. I think in today's culture, it's definitely easier to beat on the right than
of course,
the left.
absolutely.
But I think his past work has shown he'll go after anyone.
Yeah, I mean he went after a quasi celebrity from like a reality show on an episode. He went after an artist on an episode.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The first bit is with Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be. Granted, I think it's going to be more right.
Oh, it's absolutely right. He's making the right look dumb.
Yeah, but the left, I'm sure, is going to get their time too. That's the thing. People forget. Now everyone's cheering for him, going, "Yeah, he's on our side." They don't realize, no, he's on his side.
He made people on, like I said, so the big one that he did this past week was he went to a county in Arizona, or a town in Arizona, and he was proposing, it was as his social justice warrior character. He's proposing this town in Arizona that this idea that's going to boom the economy, it's going to bring jobs, and it would be the largest mosque outside of the Middle East being built in this town. And these people, he held like a town hall for these people, and they went nuts about it. And he never said they're Republicans or Democrats or anything. He just let it play out. And you got to see the reactions on it.
I like that.
He's a very I'm interested to see what happens with the whole Sarah Palin thing.
He was going away
because
for a while,
his character that they said is posing as a vet. He never once said it on the show. He sits in a scooter and Bernie Sanders asks him if he's disabled. He goes, "No, I'm using this to conserve my bodily energy." So, but there people are saying that he was lying about being a soldier. I haven't seen him say that yet on the show, but it's clear he's
just take your punishment.
It's just a comedy show. Everyone fucking takes everything so goddamn seriously.
I have a question. If you're a politician, how can you so easily be manipulated?
What would make you think it was a good idea to go get in front of a camera and support something you just heard of called Kinderguardians, about arming 3-year-old children?
I've never run for public office. Doing the show with you,
God.
I probably never will be able to.
I will. I'll just blame it on you. That's Ralph that's saying that word the whole time. What word was it?
My name's Taylor Micah, and the
Japanese. Taylor Micah in the pit.
Taylor Micah in the pit. Taylor Micah's
sweaty pits.
Yeah.
All right.
No improv, Ralph.
No. Improv Ralph stinks.
Like, I get a text message from a number I don't understand, and I block it. Like, you're gonna.
I do that, and I curse at my friend's mom.
Good for you.
All right.
No, real quick.
Go for it. What do you have?
Do you wanna?
Where
we can actually.
Okay, let me pause really quick, and we'll get that started.
All right, well, let's finish here, and then we can tack this on to the end.
Yeah, okay. So why don't we close out with our hot takes? I don't necessarily have one yet, so I think I have a couple, but go ahead off the top of your head. And I have one now.
Do yours real quick.
All right, one of the big news stories that this follows I could rant a hot take about the Mets forever and how dumb they are, but this involves like my expertise on the show, which is movies, and they announced that they are remaking Enter the Dragon. Why? Yeah. How can you remake a movie about Bruce Lee without Bruce Lee? And it's...
Well, didn't they make like 7 sequels without him, though?
I understand that, but they're trying to go back to the original storyline. Enter the Dragon still holds up. It's still awesome. There'd be no reason to. And the only person they probably should have played Bruce Lee would have been if Brandon Lee was alive.
Well, how's he doing?
He's not doing too hot. I don't know if you heard, they were filming a movie called The Crow, and Brandon Lee died. But there's no again, there's remakes for the sake of remakes. I will never truly understand. When I saw that, it made me angry. People need to shut up about Aquaman. I can't imagine that being anything but disastrous. Why remake Enter the Dragon? Have you ever actually watched Enter the Dragon, Ralph?
I've watched Enter. I have the Bruce Lee collection.
It's fucking fantastic. Would you see any reason for them to remake it?
No.
Like, what is it going to prove? What is it going to change?
Also, Enter the Dragon, even though it's a well-known... Bruce Lee's well-known. The movie itself isn't particularly well-known except for, like...
Yeah, of course.
Like, I don't think of Enter the Dragon as, like, a classic.
No, I love it, but...
it's a movie that just has a classic actor in it. That's
exactly.
The way I do
it shouldn't be touched. I don't know why they were thinking about that, remaking The Crow, Big Trouble in Little China, Roadhouse. Just shut up. Just stop remaking these things. Leave them. Remake bad movies. You know what I would mind, like, a new reimagining of is, like, They Live, with, like, a current-day wrestler, but using the social media aspect now. And because They Live is more relevant than ever when it comes down to it. If that came out now, it'd be huge.
Well, how's Roddy doing?
Poor Roddy's dead. They could do it with Ronda Rousey since she's rowdy Ronda Rousey.
Oh, but then they get in trouble for that.
No,
You can't
no,
do anything.
she's actually called that because Rowdy Piper gave her the nickname.
No. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, but you're doing a female. People
well,
get angry about that.
Well, that's what I was just saying about the Roadhouse remake. The Roadhouse remake is starring Ronda Rousey.
Oh.
Yeah, no reason to. I guess you can't use Patrick Swayze anyway, so we're doing.
Well, I guess everyone's dead.
Yeah, we're making a lot of dead people references. Did anyone die while I was gone? Tony Sperano.
Let's see.
I was sad about Tony Sperano.
Oh, that one stinks.
Yeah, well, he gave me the most fun season as a Dolphins fan, and the one thing I could say with him, even though he wasn't the best head coach, his Dolphins teams he coached were always very tough. They rarely got blown out. They were very physical, competitive teams. He was winning games with Chad Henne, not like making the playoffs, but going 7-9 with a guy like Chad Henne is somewhat of an accomplishment.
Wait, he had Pennington the year they went to the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. The Wildcat season.
Okay. Here's some recent deaths. When did you start your vacation?
July 17th.
July 17th. All right. These are people who have died while you were gone.
Okay.
Bo Gron. He's
Who?
a Finnish shot putter.
Not a celebrity. Go on. Just because they have a Wikipedia page doesn't make him a celebrity. I know that's what you're thinking. You think you're gonna make it when you have a Wikipedia page, Ralph?
Evan Whitten, 90. He's an Australian journalist.
Not a celebrity. Go on.
No, he's a celebrity journalist.
Go on.
Geraldo Rivera. Oh, I'm sorry.
Geraldo Rivera.
Gabriel Rivera.
Who the Geraldo Rivera?
From the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
What? Okay, is there anyone that actually died that is a celebrity?
AI Kashahuni Ai, Nigerian judge. He was Chief Justice of Nigeria for 3 years. Nicholas Fudge. He was an American reality television personality on Wicked Tuna. Aw.
I'm not saying anything.
No,
you haven't named a single celebrity yet.
Jeff Hook. He was an Australian cartoonist and illustrator.
Can you give me someone that actually people know?
These are household names.
Whose household?
Dude, when Fudge died, I was really upset.
What's your favorite work of Fudge?
Wicked Tuna.
Oh.
Nicholas Fudge.
Go on.
Okay, Tor Erring Staff. He was a Norwegian lawyer. He died.
How many people died while I was gone?
A lot, apparently. Well, total in the world?
No.
I think about 60.
That have Wikipedia pages.
About 300.
Are you kidding?
People die, dude.
Well, no shit, but...
Bill Loud. He was an American television personality. He was from American Family. That was actually, you know what? That actually was the first reality TV show on American Family. He's a big one, Bill Loud.
I didn't even hear about him dying.
He died. He was 97, dude.
Well, listen, I think once you get past 85, there shouldn't be any
Kim
type of...
Dong-yoon? He was a South Korean pop singer from Mix 9?
When you get past 85, though, I don't think there should be any obituary or services.
Mom,
you're kind of expected to die.
When someone dies, my mom will be like, I feel so bad for Jenny. Her grandfather died. He was 106. I'm like, that's not sad.
I'd be celebrating. I was like, finally, this burden is gone.
Oh, poor Jenny.
Who's Jenny?
I don't know. I just picked a name.
Sorry, Maria.
Vibeke Shotard.
All right, I'm done with dead people.
He was a 38.
What's your hot take so we can wrap this shit up?
Come
on. You had more time.
I'm not... Dude, these people gave a lifetime of work, and we're just brushing them off.
A lifetime of work that I'm just discovering now. Great.
Oliver Dragojek. We would be really upset if the Croatian singer who just died of lung cancer.
Give me a goddamn hot take.
Flip-flops are, they're great.
You're wearing flip-flops right now. That's not a hot take.
Well, it is.
You're ruining your own bit.
What? The deaths?
No, the hot take!
It's not my bit. It's yours. Is it my bit?
It's both of ours. It's every fucking episode, and you can't even come up with one.
Oh, okay. My heart's just hurting because Tomasz Shanko, Polish jazz trumpeter, died of pneumonia
Did you
earlier
say
today.
Polish trumpet ass? He plays the trumpet with his asshole. Oh, my asshole's making noise.
Maybe that's when he died. Maybe he got sepsis.
Oh, he fucking slipped and the fucking trumpet just impaled him via the asshole.
I don't have a hot take. It's rained too much lately.
Oh, I have to repeal one of my hot takes from a few weeks ago. You asked me. I ruined it quickly. Will Tim Tebow play with the Mets this year?
Yeah,
and I said yes. No, he's not. Good. Goodbye, Tim Tebow. Fuck you, Tim Tebow. I'm so happy I don't have to see Tim Tebow. I don't want to see him anytime soon, and now I will not see him at least until the next summer. So good riddance. And
Rest in peace, Ian Stanley, 69, Australian professional golfer. He died of cancer.
How old was he? 90?
69.
69.
I want to go like that.
How old are you?
Oh my God, Olga Jegawak. She died. She was a Polish rock singer.
Whoa, Jegawad. That's a iffy word. You could probably not.
All right, bye guys.
All right, we got to wrap this up. We're actually gonna close out with a call we have with our good friends at Lobo Sound and Bobo. They are currently in Chicago recording the follow-up to the Bobo Show EP with a very Bobo Christmas. So for You Watch I Listen, I'm Dan.
I'm Ralph.
And this was episode 13. We'll see you guys next week.
Lamette.
All right, we're recording.
How you doing, Ralph?
Hey, Vince?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, we have you, we're recording right now. We have you on speakerphone. We're just holding you by the mic.
Yeah, what's up, dude? It's Dan.
Can you hear us all right?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. How you doing?
We're doing good. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm a little congested, but, whatever.
How's
Happy
Sunday. So how's your weekend going?
It's a weekend. We've been recording and working as diligently as possible, and Bobo has his quirks, so you always got to factor those in, but always positive.
He's got a little quirks. What do you mean he's got a little?
What kind of quirks does Bobo have?
He's got a little quirks.
Is there anything specifically?
That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, so it's not just a gimmick; it's just Bobo.
That's definitely not a gimmick.
We've hung out with Bobo a few times, and it's shocked how everything you hear on air is exactly how it is in person.
We had to drive to 3 different Dunkin' Donuts to pick him up once because he kept telling us the wrong one.
That sounds pretty consistent with Daniel Curlin. Yeah.
So,
don't get me wrong, but that sounds about right. That sounds accurate.
So we got Vince. I've just been calling you Vince Lobo, although I'm not sure.
Yeah,
if that's actually
Vince of Lobo Sound.
Vince of Lobo Sound. We have him on the phone. He's working with Bobo again on your the follow up to your EP. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a Christmas double album. So there are clean songs and dirty songs, some original, some like public domain ones,
like a cover song,
things like that. So yeah, it's we got clean ones for terrestrial radio and dirty ones for satellite radio, and it's very very consistent with,
it's going to be very very strange if Bobo has the next Sherwin Sleeves Christmas La La song.
No, I'm thinking beyond that. I'm thinking like we're looking at the charts. You got Ed Sheeran 1 and Bobo 2.
Oh my God! You got to do a version of "Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus" for Bobo.
I would. His mom's a saint.
Oh yeah, she's a champion.
But yeah, that would be something. I'll look into licensing that. That would be very hilarious. We got him here for about another day and a half. He flies back tomorrow in the evening. But
and is this going to be
we're going to get a lot of work done. Today is one of the days where we record a shitload of dirty material, which is interesting. And then I will say, I'm not gonna say it anywhere else, but that album cover, you guys, I'll send you a.
Oh yeah!
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah,
I'll send you guys a photo. But holy shit!
So is this going to be the last time you have Bobo out there recording with you, or is he going to be coming out again right before, like, to get some final copy stuff?
See, that's an interesting question. We're gonna have to figure that out.
They have to buckle down today, dude.
Yeah, it's you got to get like a flamethrower to the place and clean everything up.
Oh boy. I'll be,
oh boy.
I'll be completely honest with you. We have. I always have, when he's here, the wipes that the doctor wipes you down with before he sticks you with a needle. I always have those and Kleenex on deck because it's just, again.
There's just bodily fluid coming out.
He's a sneezy individual. He's always very congested gentleman.
I can't say I have anyone in my life I would describe as a sneezy gentleman, but if there was going to be anyone, it's certainly Bobo.
It's funny because when you mention it, it fits him perfectly. When I think of Bobo, I think of a congested,
nasally, snotty dude.
You know what I mean, right? He's always got a little. He's always got a little sinus in there.
When we hung out with him that one time, we had to look behind because we were convinced that he just died on us.
Yeah, he was just.
That's.
Yeah, we had the noise he started.
He was just releasing gas.
Yeah, he was like a gas giant in space.
It's always like So we built in the studio. I got my control room and I got the vocal booth, and he records on a pretty nice microphone. I'll be honest with you guys. And first time he was here, I hear fucking foghorn in the microphone. I look at my brother like, holy fucking shit! Did we just hear this?
I'll never forget when they did Bobo the Fugitive and you could hear him gulp on the microphone.
Oh,
like a cartoon. Like
yeah, that's him. It's him. He's a fucking individual. It's it's sweet. That's
now. So this is
different. That's all.
Now this is the follow up to the great Bobo Show EP, which you can get at lobosound.com/Bobo. Now. How long does it take? Because that was 4 tracks. How long was the recording process with an individual like Bobo?
All right, so that one was a little bit different than Christmas. Christmas has been a lot faster because he's more familiar with the music.
I hope so.
Due to the nature of it being public domain, which is really cool.
It's always on commercials.
Songs of a festive nature.
Yeah, songs of a festive nature.
Songs of a festive nature. Holy cow! Get me out of here. Not you guys. Out of here, my house right now, please. Anyway,
who came up with that tagline, "Songs of a humorous nature"? Is that his creation or one of you guys?
On East Side Dave, it was songs of comedic nature, and then it became songs of a humorous nature. And I'll be honest with you, man. I don't think I'm getting fired from my own company, and I try not to be too formal with all this. So I just, like I said, Daniel, Bobo, whatever you want to call him, he's an individual. He can say whatever the fuck he wants to. He said songs of a humorous nature. I just, I'm like, all right, run with it. That's beautiful. I don't care. Songs of a humorous nature.
Yeah, he's all about branding.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of humorous nature, I think of Bobo. What is the biggest challenge you have when it comes to having him record a song of original content? Because I could see that being a challenge.
Yeah, so I'll be honest with you guys. The 4 songs that we wrote that were originals, that took 3 trips to Chicago. It's a lot of so in Pro Tools, when you record, you can press you can loop your recording.
Yeah.
And it's basically what we did was we'd isolate sections of the music based off mostly verses. Choruses are a little bit easier than verses, but due to the lyrical content, especially Do the Daniel Curlin has a lot of intricate lyrics.
Yeah. I can see it not really being done in one take.
Are you telling me that he doesn't spit fire?
Or he doesn't spit hot fire when he raps?
He spits fire, don't get me wrong, but
it's usually got a lot of hot dog chunks in it.
Oh boy.
So where is Mr. Curlin right now?
He's asleep in the basement. He didn't fall asleep until 3:30ish this morning.
Oh man,
so
you just wake up and he's standing over you staring.
That was yesterday.
I was.
I'm not kidding. 6 o'clock in the morning, he's just breathing, and I'm like, hey, I chose this life, so it's all good. I mean,
yeah, you really did sign up for it, because not only did you invite him, you flew him out too. So it's not like, if you're ever in Chicago, there's a place for you to stay. It's like, no, you're gonna come here. So you knew what you were getting yourself into. Maybe not in such bodily fluid detail, but you knew.
Poor Bobo.
I'm not getting into bodily fluid details.
Poor Lobo.
He's a mucusy gentleman. That's all. He's just a little mucusy.
Well, as long as he can make the toilet every time, I suppose that's a good thing.
Wow. Maybe I should send you guys some prep notes before we do this for next time.
So, what do you guys have a tentative release date for the Christmas album?
I assume because I lost my virginity in November 26th of 2005.
Oh, good for you.
That's how I remember my Godfather's birthday.
There's dates everyone remembers.
And my sister-in-law's, which is his mother. She's terrible. Holy shit. Can't build that wall fast enough. But
yes.
But yeah, I'm assuming somewhere. I'd have to look at the calendar, but somewhere in November. I know. I don't know. We have so much content that we got done in the last 5 days. I don't know if he's going to need to fly back or not. If he does, that'd be great. We have we'll see how long it takes to get the couple original songs that we.
I feel like when he does the media rounds and he's on like Jim and Sam and Chip Chippison, you guys should probably get an invite out to make the rounds with him, because you might be able to articulate the content of the album better than songs of a humorous nature.
He doesn't sell it probably the way
Listen,
I think you guys want him to
if
sell it
I'm
sometimes.
if I'm looking for something of a humorous,
it's definitely been the cause of some stress, and it's a very difficult situation, and it can cause a serious headache. And I'll be honest with you guys, everyone from all the shows has been so kind to us. It's not everything that we do is for terrestrial AM.
Yeah, of course.
Chicago radio at Lobo Sound. So when we flew Bobo out, we knew okay, Bobo's a New York radio guy. Clearly, this is going to get some momentum from the avenues that he has.
Of course.
It's nothing too scary. I wholeheartedly agree with you guys and wish that I could have been on all the shows with him, because you're absolutely right. It's very difficult to have Daniel is the spokesperson for this product that we're trying to sell to the masses, like I said, it's sweet kid, lovely family, very
absolutely.
Sometimes very difficult to maneuver, and
having to feed him.
It's very difficult to sit on sit and listen live to satellite radio, which is broadcasting nationally to obviously more than one country, and hear, hey, you got a website issue, and then I got to fire the fucking web developer. I got to go see the lawyer, and then and I live in the fucking country. I hate the city. I don't like the city.
Oh, I hate going to we don't go to New York City ever, and it's 40 minutes away from us.
Yeah, exactly. I'm 40 whole miles away from the South Loop, which is
Is that where you get shot in Chicago?
Say it again?
Is that where you'd get shot in Chicago?
You get shot a little bit further south and a little bit further west.
All right, good. I know where to go.
Yeah, it's fucking.
Can you invite Dan there?
Yeah, can you invite just drop?
You guys are always welcome. I'd love to talk about getting you guys. So we'll talk about something when we're not, prepping for broadcast. I'd love that. But actually, my closest buddy is in a what is it called? Plainclothes unit for the Chicago Police Department. He's in a very elite unit of the CPD in the Ghetto. We have a lot of shootings every week.
I see that.
When it's warm, they're outside. Holy fuck.
I can imagine. I mean, we have like two towns around here, Newark and Camden, where I prefer not to be at night.
Patterson's not good either.
Patterson's not as bad. Patterson's good if you're just looking to get some hair on. If you're just trying to get some heroin, you go to Patterson. But in Newark, that's where we took Bobo to the Devils Rangers game, and I have to clarify to him while we're walking through one of the most dangerous.
Why you can't make certain jokes?
Yeah, why you should avoid jokes of a racial nature in the middle of Newark.
They weren't really jokes as much as just threats.
They were like comments that if you know someone you might laugh, but if you hear them you might get shot.
He's very open about not necessarily caring for various ethnic and racial religious groups.
Bobo.
I'll be honest.
Bobo.
We were outside of the airport the second time he was here. He flew here the first time is January 26th to 28th, then February 14th to 18th, May 5th to May 8th, and now June. What the fuck was it? 26th to 30th. It was February 28th, and we were at a hot dog joint outside the airport.
I said he spits up bits of hot dog.
Say it again.
Like I said, he's always spitting out bits of hot dog when he talks.
Oh, yeah. As long as I'm paying for it, yeah. But he just he let an N-bomb with a
what? Bobo.
Yeah, it's like oh boy.
You gotta take it easy. And I obviously was looking at him like, okay, maybe we'll give this guy a chance. So,
Oh man.
Definitely. So sometimes it gets a little volatile.
He's trying his best.
He's trying. So.
Yeah, definitely. It's unintentional.
The fuck was that?
What'd you do to yourself?
Big ass fucking ant was just crawling up my leg.
Ralph's getting upset about a little bug on him. So why don't we go ahead and we're going to wrap up the call. We got Vince from Lobo Sound. They're recording the Bobo Christmas EP right now.
Songs of a festive nature.
A follow up to the Bobo Show EP. Why don't you go ahead and plug your website and the work that you guys do at Lobo Sound?
All right, cool. soundcloud.com/Bobo for the EP, which is very humorous. My brother and I produced it, and it was a lot of fun for the most part to make. Bobo's a sweet kid, and we started doing this honestly because we we saw how much hatred he receives.
Yeah, he's a lightning rod of controversy.
Yeah, he gets so much hate. It's unbelievable. And really, I mean, this is kind of a charitable thing that my brother and I are doing. We've donated all our time. We've donated all the money to make all this possible. And it's at the end of the day, it's to help Bobo out. He is not a rich guy. He is not does not have the easiest life.
No.
I know that we're joking around and having a good time and being playful, but in reality,
hey, no, that's what it's all about,
Bobo's
man.
a good kid.
Bobo's a good kid.
We love him, and we have a lot of fun. And when he's here, he stuffs his face and eats a lot of delightful food and gets to be outside of his.
Well, it's pretty clear when he's not out there, he's working his hardest on his physique and his diet. So when he's out there, it's great.
He's a modern day Adonis.
He's got the C cups to prove it. All right, guys,
All right.
I drink from those C cups any day.
Oh.
Oh God.
All right. I think on that note.
All right, Vince. Good talking to you, buddy.
Guys,
Get
later,
some
man.
sleep.
Thanks.
Good luck.
See ya.
Bye.